food is so important because it's one of those things that we continue to be able to enjoy, and it's part of our social aspect. If you think about any type of social activity we do, there's food always there. And so I think it stimulates memories. I think it does a lot for us. I think about sometimes the things that I'm reminded of my grandma, what she cooked, and even when I cook it today, I still have those memories. And so I think food just brings joy to people, and I think it's a very important, vital part. And I also have a philosophy, especially as a dietitian, that food should come before anything else. That a lot of times you'll see individuals being restricted on what they're eating. And I don't find that of a value, because if I am at an age where I can make those decisions, I want to make the choices for myself and not someone else do it for me. I think about an example of going from what we're doing from the household model from an institutional, and this gentleman moved in, and he had congestive heart failure, and he had lost a significant amount of weight. And I remember when he moved into one of our houses, and I went and talked with him, and he was telling me how where he was at before, they bring in a tray. He wasn't asked what he wanted, so they sat the tray down, and then they came back later, didn't ask him if he wanted anything else, and just took the tray. Well, number one, it had gotten cold on him, and it wasn't food that he enjoyed. And so I told him, I said, well, here our philosophy is you can enjoy what you want to eat. And his eyes got huge. He's like, really? Like, he didn't trust me. And I said, yes, you can have whatever you want. And so the next day he had 3 breakfasts in a row. And then the next day he did the same thing. And so the staff were like starting to panic, saying, what do we do, Heather? He's like he's going to gain all this weight. Well, number one, it was okay for him to gain a little because he lost so much. But then I said, well, let's just wait and see what happens, because anytime that, like, if somebody's on a diet and they restrict themselves, but they love Snickers, and then what happens when they get the Snickers back? They overindulge because it's been taken away. I said, let's just see what happens. And so slowly he tapered off, and he didn't go down to 1. He still had his 2 breakfasts, but he found and was able to say, I trust that I can get whatever I want to have and when I want it. And his weight stabilized out. He didn't gain more. And I just remember him always being content with knowing that that was his choice and his freedom. And I think as a dietitian, we can help with that to make a difference, because so much evolves around the food, and how we can give that joy back instead of taking it away. I think about another example. I was consulting at a place, and this lady was losing weight, so I was just observing at the mealtime, and all of a sudden they came and they put the tray in front of her, and that day was fish, and she just stared at the tray, and I finally went over and asked if there's anything else. She goes, I hate fish. And I said, well, is there anything else we can get you? And by then her appetite was gone. And I think how simple would have asked her, what would you like for lunch today? And here's what's on the menu, but if you don't want this, we have your favorite on hand. And I think we could prevent so much weight loss from occurring if we just honor people for what they want to eat, instead of just instantly going to supplements or just saying, well, this is all we have. Like, why can't it be exactly what we have at home, make that available to them? And why do we feel like we have to drive and make the decisions on what's best for someone to eat? People do struggle with that, but I think we have to take it back to the individual and know that if they understand what those risks are, they can make those choices.